In our life, we must have a purpose. Having a lot of money, a good position, a good life, and a happy family are all things we dream of. We work hard to get it. Because it's not an easy thing to get, we started to ignore trivial things that are truly important in life. We are always busy with our world, our jobs, and everything without realizing it keeps us from something. Something trivial, but so important that we don't even realize it. The story begins when a woman asks her husband, "Brian, don't you want to have dinner with another woman?" Brian, who didn't have sisters, asked in confusion, "What do you mean?" His wife looked at him and smiled as she held Brian's hand. "Tomorrow, go out for dinner with your mom. It's been 21 years since you married me. You haven't had dinner with your mom." Brian stared at the woman in front of him in silence. His wife asked Brian to call his mother right away. She said that his mother must have been waiting for a moment like this. So Brian decided to call his mom right away. During the conversation, he expressed his desire and intended to take his mother to dinner. The old lady was very happy to hear her son's invitation. She couldn't believe that her son would invite her to dinner because he had been waiting for so long. The next day, Brian was on his way to his mother's house. His mother saw her son and smiling in front of the door. Looks like she's been waiting for a while and running over to Brian and getting in the car. Inside the car, there was a little conversation between them about the best restaurant and the best menu they would go to. Brian noticed the clothes his mother wore. Her clothes were a little tight and shabby. He just realized he'd never buy her mother new clothes. At the restaurant, Brian chose a seat for the two of them. There was a waiter approaching them with a menu book, and he handed the menu to the old lady. But, unfortunately, his mother was no longer able to read it. With a smile on his face, Brian offered to read every menu so his mother could choose what she liked. After that, they ordered all kinds of food. In the middle of the dinner, Brian said that it was the first time in 21 years. He apologized to his mother and he will take her to dinner again tomorrow for the second time. His mother was so happy to hear that, so she looked forward to it. After that night, every day, the old lady waited for a call from her son. She kept her phone with her everywhere she went, and hoped that her son would call back soon and take her to dinner. In another place, Brian kept busy with his job, his family, and his life, until he completely forgot his own promise. Because of her age, one day, his mother got sick. Each passing day, her illness got worse. But Brian still didn't visit her with the same reason: busy. Sadly, the old lady passed away before her son could visit her. After the funeral, Brian felt sad and regret that he had not taken the time to be at his mother's side in her final hour. Regret always comes too late. All of a sudden, his phone was vibrating. On the screen, he can read the caller name. And it was the restaurant where he and his mother had dinner the other night. "Hello, Mr. Brian. I'm really sorry, sir. In our cashier record, you've reserved a dinner spot for two, and the bill was paid by your mother." And before he finished talking, Brian immediately hung up the call. He immediately went to the restaurant, and after that, the cashier handed him a piece of paper with a handwriting inside, and that was from his mother. He cried as he read the letter. He is really sorry for what he has done. He had even forgotten to give a little attention to his mother. He was too busy with his life and his family. The letter said, "Son, I understand. Tonight is our last dinner together. Even if you say there will be a second time, I'm not really sure. So, please have dinner with your wife. I paid it for you with my money. From that story, we know that regret always comes too late. We won't realize what it's worth until we lose it. So before that day comes, make sure we make time for such things, so we won't have any regrets at the end.